Hey, it's been a little while since I made a video, and I realized I had a moment here between work ending and going home, so I thought I'd sit down and record something real quick. A lot has happened since the last video. The first thing I want to acknowledge is that my voice sounds a lot different, and it's not just because of tea. I do think my voice has dropped significantly, but not huge, in the past couple weeks. But also I lost my voice, so I'm very hoarse right now. So that is playing into this as well. So that's making my voice even lower than it would be just because of tea. So in a week or two, hopefully my voice will come back, and in the next video, it'll be a more accurate reflection of what testosterone has done to my voice. Since my last video, the nation has seen protests and uprisings on a scale that I've never seen in my lifetime for anything, ever. And I recently turned 34, and I've never seen anything like this. So I have been pretty preoccupied with that. I am a huge, massive supporter of what's happening. I am a huge supporter of the Black Lives Matter movement. And I just wanted to say that up front before I start talking about testosterone and all that stuff. I haven't been out protesting a lot, but I have gone out and protested, and that is where I lost my voice last week. And also, the skate park reopened. It's in a weird kind of space right now where we're only allowed to have 25 people in the building at a time, so we're limiting our sessions to 10 riders at a time. So that way there's enough space for parents who are waiting, people who are coming in to shop, and our staff to be here without hitting that 25 person mark. So I've been really busy getting the skate park back going and being invested in what's going on right now with our country as far as Black lives go and police violence and all of that. And I just wanted to say that I feel really lucky to have grown up in a household where this was something we talked about long before now. A lot of people are just really right now realizing that the police are violent and that they are especially violent towards Black people and other people of color. And I am glad that I grew up in a household where that was something that was talked about, where I was taught that the war on drugs exists to put Black people in prison, that I was taught not to trust the police, but to cooperate with them for my own safety, but to not see them as a trustworthy person in the world. Like so many kids were taught, that the police are someone safe, just like a teacher or a pastor or someone. I was not taught that, and I'm thankful for that. And this past week or past almost 3 weeks now, I've been watching what's been happening really closely, and especially here in Portland. There are some nights I'm up till 2 a.m. watching the live streams of what's going on downtown. Some nights I'm texting with friends who are out there on the ground, letting them know what kind of things are happening and where tear gas is being used and where fires are being started, and trying to help to keep them safe and informed the best that I can. And I'm not really able to do that as much now because I'm got the park being a lot busier. But if you are in the Portland area, next weekend on Sunday is Go Skateboarding Day. And a group of wonderful people here in Portland have turned it into No Hate Day instead of Go Skate Day. And they are planning a big skater gathering protest to start at one of the schools where a lot of people skateboard here, and go down to meet the Revolution Hall March that happens every single night. So if you're in Portland and you're looking to get involved, every single night at 6 p.m. there is a group that meets at Revolution Hall. It's the biggest group in Portland. There's always Black speakers every night before the march, and then they march to a different part of town to highlight different things that are happening around the city. And then every single night there's also a group that protests at the Justice Center. Okay, now quick update on me and testosterone and stuff like that. I hit 6 months on T about 2 weeks ago, or about 10 days ago. What's today's date? I don't remember today's date. It's like the 14th or 15th, something like that. June 4th was 6 months on T for me. And I am seeing a lot of changes right now. A lot of the changes that I was seeing before just happening faster. I am still growing a lot of hair. I have significantly more body hair even than I did a few weeks ago, especially on my belly and on my thighs, even more on my hands and my arms. I'm starting to get a little bit of chest hair. I got some hairs on my neck. I shave my chin pretty much every day now, otherwise it looks really weird because I get these little patchy spots of hair. I need to shave my sideburns. I'm getting some weird long hairs on my sideburns. So that's all been really great. I'm really happy about that. I'm not seeing as quick or dramatic of a change in my shoulders as I was before, but things are still changing. I'm definitely still seeing the effects of gaining some more muscle mass. I'm trying to think of what else. I'm just feeling so much more stable and even. My moods, feeling much calmer and happier. I'm just feeling more and more and more like myself and more happy as who I am as a person. And every week or month, I think, wow, this is so much better, and it just keeps getting better, and that is absurd to me. I don't know when it's going to stop getting better. If it stopped getting better today, this would be great. I am so much happier as a person today than I was 6 months ago or a year ago, or especially like 2-3 years ago. Just so much happier. I've really found a self-identity that I didn't really have before. I kind of have an idea of who I am as a person that is separate from what I do as a person. So that's been really healthy for me, especially with the business and COVID happening, is that I felt really at peace that if I needed to close my business, I as a person would be okay. I was not that healthy a few years ago when I started this business. There was a time I said, if I'm not able to succeed at this, if this isn't going to be able to happen, I'll kill myself. Like I said those words, and that I look back on that and I'm like, oh my goodness, you need help. This is important. This business and this community is extremely important and close to my heart, which is why I put so much into it. But I know that who I am as a person is still going to exist and be happy, even if I lose everything else in my life. I can be comfortable in who I am and just continuing to exist. There will always be new businesses, there will always be new friends, there will always be other things in my life and other relationships, even if I lose what I have now. And I just feel like that's a place where most people should be mentally, and I wasn't there until pretty recently. And I think that dysphoria was a big part of it that I couldn't name and I didn't understand. So yeah, I was in a really positive place. I had my 6-month check-in with my primary care doctor who does all my HRT recently. That went super, super well. It was all over video. I went in for a blood test in and out of the hospital, or not even a hospital, clinic. They bring you in a mask, draw your blood, and kick you right back out the door. So I was only in there for a couple minutes, which was great. And then did the actual video with the doctor, or the actual appointment over video. And we're going to bump up my testosterone dose a little bit more. So I started at a third of where I'm gonna end up, I think, and we're probably gonna sit there. My levels last time I checked it was in the low 300s, which is how we measure it in the US. I know it's different in other countries, the way you measure it, which is just the very, very bottom of like the standard male range. And we tested it at the time of the week when it would have been higher, because that was just the only time I could get into the clinic. They like to test it when you're at the lowest point, but I wasn't able to do that. So we're recognizing that throughout the rest of the week, my levels are actually probably below 300. So we're bumping it up a little bit to make sure that I'm solidly in the low end of the like male, typical cis male range, which is where I'd like to be, is on that low end of that. and I'm seeing a lot of changes, so I don't feel like I need to be much higher than that. I'm moving forward with top surgery. I'm basically in the phase of kind of waiting to get the insurance approval. I've met with the doctor, got my letter in, and now I just have to wait and wait and wait. And in 2 or 3 months, the insurance will say, yes, you're approved, or hopefully, hope to God they don't say, no, you're not approved for any reason. But most likely they'll say, yes, you're approved. And at that point, my doctor will be able to put me on the schedule. And that will be sometime later this year, and I don't know when. Just started having the very first conversations with the doctor regarding future hysterectomy. So that is not something that's going to be happening right away, probably not for a year or so, but we're just starting to talk about it so that we can start planning for it, figuring out what's best for both my physical health and my mental health, and how to get ready for that. So that's kind of where I am. I'm 6 months, almost 6.5 months on testosterone, and I'm just really happy despite everything really hard that's going on in the world. And I also want to say really, really strongly from me that I 100% back Black Lives Matter. It's really important, and I fully believe it. And yeah, that's it. See you next time.